86% of realtors drop out within the first 18 months.
Wie schwer ist guy in a rief company is rausnehmen der Rat?
Stam dich zu schicken listings in der Welt, and that's defeating the purpose of an agent.
So was sag ich zwischen a real estate agent und a real estate broker?
Er hat das gehalten.
Ich weiß nicht, jetzt gehalten sind nicht.
Was
meint zu sagen?
Freaks geht, aber frag besser.
So I begin by the ports.
Nein, nicht
There's a difference.
Moshe, what's the point for a mortgage?
So you can pay slowly.
I don't know what you're about to say, but gas
Real estate agent.
Gas schon.
Ich purchase the house and gange weiter. What's the issue with that?
Okay, so how was everyone in Moshe since the last podcast came out, the last episode? You were good?
Welche ist rausgekommen?
Ich weiß nicht.
Ich denke schon, ich
I know, it's been so long.
Sie sag episodes
So
kommen
long.
raus. Ich kann schon mithalten.
Man hakt stecker eins nach an.
Exactly.
One after the next just keeps coming out. We keep churning them out, but I think there's too little time between episodes.
Halt's das so?
Yeah.
Wie oft kommt es raus? How often?
So, uns basically wollen uns rausgeben jeden Montag und Donnerstag, gibt's von jede zweite Donnerstag. So,
I think we
zweimal Donnerstag, jede zweite Donnerstag gibt es nicht raus.
I think once a year is okay.
Once a year? Okay,
Something-
check out email to talks@latestsimchas.com.
Definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, but it has to be a very, very, very long episode.
Yeah, of course.
You can't. I can talk myself. I can talk for like 4 years straight.
4 years?
I see you were quiet. Everybody wanted me to start talking. Should I start?
I'm
warning you.
Was darf ich responden? I have no
Okay.
idea was ich darf responden.
So who are we here with?
So in Zusammenhang a awesome guest. Einer was tit real estate.
So sagt man.
Also sagt man.
So is there.
Ja,
At least he claims so. He tells me I'm a real estate agent.
Ich tee real estate, ich draai mich, ich mag, ich help, you know. Something along those lines. Yeah, so
what's my real estate?
real estate is something that is permanent. That is connected to the ground. It's real estate. It's not personal property.
It's a real
property. That's real property and personal property. So the chilek zwischen real property, a garage was attached to the floor, is technically considered real estate.
Mechibel karka.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Very nice.
And what's my karka? Etwas, was man kennt nicht gaan van. Karka en de gezelen,
Karka
plaats
is-
of einem
is
plaats.
ground. Earth.
The earth,
Yeah.
the ground, yeah. You can
So-
actually own ground and you can't steal a house.
Okay, so, couldn't call da Nomen hat me vergessen.
Yeah, Chaim, Blau.
Chaim Blau, en was bist die, was dein rol?
Ik ben a real estate agent, realtor, real estate agent, broker. So do a bunch of different titles. Titelig, als we gezegd. And whatever, it's interchangeable. So was these interchangeable, right?
Interchangeable.
in Yiddish.
In Yiddish, exactly.
If you know what the word
Yiddish belas.
interchangeable means in Yiddish, please
Comment.
comment.
So, einer will kaufen ein Haus, oder will verkaufen ein Haus, oder sich zu kaufen investments, whatever, anything that regarding real estate, residential. So, ich tue nicht commercial. Commercial ist eine ganz andere Sache für sich. Offices, industrial, warehouses, this is commercial. Actually, it's do commercial and industrial, zwei andere Sachen. Aber residential, sie wohnen, primary, other investment properties, that's what I do.
Okay, so was sag ich zwischen a real estate broker, a real estate agent and a real estate broker?
So, like I said, mention it's in the way to interchangeable, the titles, but the actual difference between a real estate broker and a real estate agent, or it's technically called a salesperson, is a broker owned a company, a brokerage, and into the brokerage, if it's a successful brokerage, has the agents, was arbeiten in the brokerage. Now, sei sie nicht auf a salary, right? It's commission based. So, wenn ich verkaufe ein Haus, werde ich bezahlt. Wenn ich verkaufe nicht ein Haus, werde ich nicht bezahlt. So, technically, the broker hat nicht kein Schim Schuden. They're not paying you to be part of their brokerage. Yet, if you machst a sale, machen sie Geld. So, do a split. So, a real estate broker owns a company, and a real estate agent arbeitet zusammen in their company.
So for was soll eigentlich sein, the actual company? For was darf ein Menschen arbeiten für jenem, he's doing the work?
Right. So kann man also do andere splits and andere brokerages. So, ich weiß nicht, was der geht in insurance oder wherever, anything you sell that's commission-based. In the real estate industry, so it varies. Die kannst du in a brokerage, wo sagt, you become a new agent here, 50-50. Verkaufst du Haus, ich nehme 50% und ich nehme die 50%. Trotzdem kannst du in a brokerage, wo sagt, zij haben eine andere philosophy, and zij sagen, you get to keep 70 and we'll take 30. So there's different tiers. So there's do a one size fits all. Everyone does what's good for them.
Right. If you're just an agent and you're not the broker, then you don't have the weight of the company on your shoulders. There's no investments. There's no like, you're not dealing with marketing. You're not dealing with all these
overhead.
things. Right.
All days
Exactly.
And-
So to answer your question, why would somebody not? So first of all, so zwei andere licenses. It's do a license for a real estate agent or a real estate broker. In order to become a real estate broker, Mr. Zahn, again, this is all for New Jersey. I want to clarify that. I'm licensed in New Jersey, so
Who wants to touch
in New
Brooklyn?
York and Pennsylvania and all these Sachen. I don't know the laws. Ich rede von New Jersey, Lakewood, Toms River, Jackson, wie ich verkauf. Mir sind a licensed agent for 3 Jahre. After being a licensed realtor for 3 years full time, kannst du nehmen nach a course, nach a test. And if you pass it, kannst du auch machen ein eigenes brokerage.
Wow.
Okay, so für was soll einer beglauen nutzen a brokerage company? Was kann ich nicht gehen auf Google, Zillow, nehmen a Haus aus Chalib and es purchasen unkeinem in between.
Die weiß, wie man kauft aus?
I can imagine ich gehe und ich treffe a Haus aus Chalib und jener gibt mich a Preis und ich sage ich will zahlen den Preis und sie machen auf a Deal und das wird geschlossen.
So die weiß, wie Arbeit, how long do you think it takes from when you see a house and you like it to close and move in?
Es ist nicht so ganz Zeit.
Warte, du hast
Ich darf, lass mal sagen...
Nimmst du ein Mortgage?
There's a while.
Okay, so lass mal sagen, ich habe Cash, ja? Lass mal weg einfach
Yeah.
ein Mortgage for a second.
You're ready to drop the entire price, meaning you don't need credit. whatever.
$500,000?
Ich
If the
will
house
kaufen ein
costs that
Haus
much, yeah.
zu $350,000. Ich habe $350,000, le Muschel.
Mhm.
Ich sage nicht, als ich habe, aber ich sage le Muschel. Und ich will jetzt kaufen ein Haus. Ich sehe, a beautiful house of Zillow. Jener will haben 375. Ich bin ready to zahlen 350. Ich komme mal rup und ich sage, die Sachen darf werden gefixt in order to purchase the house. Man geht durch, macht die inspection, alle Sachen. I like, wie es sieht aus. Ich purchase the house und gange weiter. What's the issue with that?
So, Koidenko, why would you ever purchase a house with cash?
Why not?
Because if you can, there's something called
Gij
leveraging
neemt
money.
het zu der Mic, oder schlepp der Mic, neemt het zu dich.
Besser?
Ja, wat dan schafft
Ja, ja,
es
ja.
auf.
So, there's something called leveraging money. So, if I could, when you're buying a house, we get?
Mm-hmm. We can keep on fixing him or something?
No, just...
Yes,
What's
he's
your-
fine. He's fine.
Okay.
I think he's okay.
Too close for comfort.
Yeah.
So
Leveraging.
when you leverage money, so business people try to buy, let's say they was investing in houses, for an example, why would I buy a house in cash if I can take this cash and buy 3 houses and have 3 income producing properties versus 1? Ich verstehe die guys jetzt on a mortgage, but by leveraging your money, you can make your money work for you. So if die guys jetzt Tage kaufen ein Haus für 350,000,
So, ga ich jetzt zurückbringen zu my first question, was my question gewähnt. Für was darf ich haben a broker rather than stehen allein? Ich verstehe...
ich verstehe.
Okay, ich verstehe den Fakt, als a viele Billionaires nehmen aus Mortgages, a viele sie können zahlen für alle Häuser, but also wie das gesagt, basically, sie können nehmen dasselbe Geld und setzen an zu 3 andere Häuser und sie zahlen so mit der Zeit, so
Right.
sie investen in 3 properties instead
Right.
of 1. But für was darf ich weiter haben
A agent.
the agent?
So to answer your question, again, technically people do buy houses without agents all the time. But an agent is dear. He does this all day, every day. And advice, wie Menschen kennen aanvallen. Can't tell you. So first of all, the statistic from for sale by owners actually selling their houses is very low. I believe it's like in the teens. And they end up putting the house on the market for sale. You kind of see in lines of stuff. Why should I pay an agent? And then 88% of those for sale by owners end up listing with an agent.
Because an agent walks you
88%.
through. An
It's
agent
not
walks you
only-
through the process. He
Correct.
knows exactly where you can get confused. If I come over there and I don't have $350,000 to drop on a house right now, what's the process? How do I go about doing things? So he probably walks you through and tells you this is the first step, that's the second step. He knows this in his sleep. Sellers don't actually know. Not a lot of them, whatever. And they're not trained for this, probably.
Right.
I'm assuming you're trained to
Correct.
walk people
So
through.
in order to become licensed, you have to go through a course. It's a 75-hour course in New Jersey, and then you have to take a state exam, which is about a 4-hour class, a 4-hour
Is this
test.
like the 5-hour driving test?
No,
We can
no.
just pay someone?
Actually not. You can't. Again, I know a lot of people who failed 2-3 times before they passed.
You can auch the driving test. I know plenty of people.
No.
They're sitting over there now in the DMV.
Ich habe gegangen nehmen the driving test. Ich bin the course. Ja, ich bin 7:30 meine ich. 8:30 habe ich gehabt gassen in Williamsburg. So this ik ben in Bar Park 7:30, 5-hour course and nog gehabt 8:30 gassen in Williamsburg.
Right.
Simon, so you actually went down to a place?
Yeah, sure.
I just called someone up and he said,
Wie
okay,
ze
just
daarvoor
send me
wat zo.
$100 quick pay. Boom.
So happens to be the state you have people who know the ins and the outs. It's not the state of New Jersey. There's a real estate commission that oversees everything. Now, if you want to have a fraud who technically says you took it and took the course, and now you have to take a state exam. So in order to take the state exam, you're literally sitting in a room, a quiet room, has 50 cubicles or however many, and you're sitting with an alte, große, grabbe computer. So slow. You can see the pixels on the screen, old mouse, and you're going through these multiple choice. I don't know exactly, I don't remember how many questions, but 4 hours. So you can do it in an hour, you can just go through, but then you're not thinking about the questions. So once you pass that, so to answer your question, why? Because you're going to do yourself. First of all, as a buyer, die tools nicht kein real estate agent. Only a seller pays. I don't think I said that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a buyer does not pay a real
This
estate
is
agent.
just in New Jersey or New York as well?
I'm 99% sure it's across the United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
So essentially, as a buyer, you're getting free service from a professional. That now, how do I get paid if I'm working with you? Through the seller. So the seller's agent, if there is a seller's agent, if it's a for sale by owner, it's a 200 Masse. But if, let's say, I approach my neighbor, ich weiß, will verkaufen sein Haus, and whatever the commission I agree upon. Now, if I bring the buyer myself, I get the whole thing. But generally, most deals happen with another agent, a buyer's agent. So when you have a buyer's agent, the seller's agent splits the commission. The listing agent / seller's agent splits the commission with the buyer's agent. So to answer your question, why should you use an agent to buy a house? Because you're getting a free service.
So,
Got it.
wer sind deine Customers? Deine Customers sind nicht die, was kommen wollen kaufen ein Haus?
Beide. Ich hab sellers and buyers.
So, so a real estate agent have good mit Menschen, was wollen verkaufen ein Haus, rather für Menschen, was wollen kaufen ein Haus?
No, so it depends how well connected you are with people. If you're a social butterfly and you can't hundreds of people, chances are one of them, if they own houses, they're going to sell. They'll use you if they know that you're good. But most agents talking when they start out with buyers more than sellers, because it's a lot harder to convince someone to pay you a commission than to work for free. You know, lend of my pickle, you're not paying me anything anyways, and you're doing what you got to do.
Right.
So
I had a question. What should people, let's say, look for in a real estate agent? People are looking for you never know who you're going to get.
Right.
What's a good sign?
Right. First of all, do your research. Ask people. Most of my clients are word of mouth.
So what are we looking for when we're doing research?
So let me ask you, if you have a friend who bought a house, right, and he used me, and he said, Chaim was amazing. It was amazing. So you're going to ask him, why was he so amazing? He was honest. He was on top of things. He was aggressive when he needed to be aggressive. He didn't push me to make a move that I wasn't comfortable with. You want someone who guides you in the right way, tells you black and white what you need to do in order to get it, or where you can push. You know, there's something called a fiduciary, which means that when I take you on as a buyer and you're my client right now, it's not about me anymore. It's about you 100%. I don't look at commissions. I don't care about that. At least a good agent shouldn't. You know?
So I have a friend, Lamushal, right?
Yeah.
He's doing a fix and flip house, right?
Okay.
And he was looking for people to sell his house. See, he's not a buyer, he's a seller. So a seller also has to look for someone.
Yeah.
So what he did, I don't know if it's okay in the world of basically he wanted to interview a whole bunch of people. Who's the best one? He called them all at once.
All at once? Okay.
He called them all at once. This is what he did. And they came to his house, and a few people started fighting with each other outside that he called us all at once, so they started fighting for the house, kind of. And so right away he knew that these people are not the ones that he wants. He's not going to deal with someone who has to fight.
Right.
And as he's interviewing a bunch of people, telling them about the house, asking them what they offer, at least he can see everyone at once, and they'll give him the best offer. It's a mahalach. It's a little weird, but it's a mahalach. And someone comes in with a Mercedes and the Zach. Zwei Menschen in a suit. They look much more professional. Kommt daran, and he gives him a stack of papers. He did his research beforehand on his house. Kommt daran. He has renderings of alles. Here you go. This is what I offer. He critiqued him. He complimented him on his house, and he stuck with him. Do you think this is a mahalach to do? You think it's okay?
I wouldn't. Again, if I was ever in such a situation, first of all, I would most likely do what this other guy did. I don't know if I would show up in a Mercedes, but I wouldn't be fighting it out in front of everyone because it's ridiculous. First of all, I don't need people knowing my tactics. If I'm sitting in front of 30 agents, I do what I know works, what's proven to work. So I would be like, here's my card. call me when you want to discuss serious business, and we'll talk one-on-one. I'll tell you what I have to offer. I'm not going to compete with 30 agents in one room. Like, what is this, a bidding war or something? You know,
Yeah.
class, ich kann das thing, you know, that type of thing. So,
Yeah, but as a seller, Lamasa, he
It-
wants a bidding war.
Zaisach Industries, by the way, arbeiten auf bidding.
Correct. The whole construction,
Government nimmt bids from
correct.
Middle.
But it's not all in one place, right? You put in your bid. It's a closed bid,
It's nicht in a room zusammen, but it's
but nobody knows what the other person put in.
But you might
Right.
get the
You
best
put in,
price.
you put in, right. In Lakewood, that's a huge problem with Lakewood. At least I used to be an electrician, so I was in the construction field. So when we would do brand new duplexes. Duplexes, if it's jeder woont in Oakenvine, some in Oakenvine. So duplexes, 2 houses connected.
Right.
So I would rough that rough is pulling the wires from when you walk in. It's a wooden shell, and now you have to put electric throughout the entire house.
Yeah.
So I would do that. The problem is that when there's a bid and you obviously want to get the job, so everyone's outbidding each other lower, and your profit margin shrinks and you make so little. Now, if there's a hiccup on this house and you end up spending there a day extra, you're losing money already.
Right.
So I saw that and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I was thinking I want to, eventually maybe become an electrician, but I'm like, I'm going to work like 5 years to get a license in order to outbid everyone and make a tiny profit. So that was like a turnoff for me in the sense of in the construction industry. But that's, yeah. So
so machen Menschen Geld. People work hard for money.
Real estate, Lamasa, even if you don't make every, let's say you sell 20 houses, every 20th you'll make a lot of money, and it's just worth it that you won't lose money off it. There's always another house to
Ja,
sell.
aber da sagen genug gute Menschen kennen
Right, but that you can work on yourself. But it doesn't take that. It doesn't take like
It
I have to
depends on the
wait
personality.
until then you're losing. Okay, you're never really. I'm assuming you're never really losing money when you're selling a house.
when you actually sell a house,
Yeah.
you make money.
Being
Right.
verkehrt.
So every house you
You're
make
not
some
make-
money. Some houses you'll make more money, but
You're not making money until you sell.
Correct.
So there's a huge
You're not
turnoff
right. You're not.
of
So
Menschen.
so
okay,
80.
so you have to really.
I
be a
think
good
it's
person like that.
86% of realtors drop out within the first 18 months, a year and a half. Drop
So-
out.
So where are you up to?
I'm over 3
You're over
years.
it.
I'm over 3 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's saying something, right?
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem. But yeah, so that's the idea behind being a real estate agent is being there for the other person. It's not about you.
And was is takke the process van koop van een huis? Wie hebt ze gezoen? Wie eindigt ze? What is the process?
So actually, you guys have this podcast, which is amazing. I'm a fan, by the way. I watch it every week. I'm not just coming on for the first time.
Thank you.
Yiddish entertainment, I think it's phenomenal. So keep going.
Thank you.
But
If someone knows the word phenomenal in Yiddish, please type
Yeah,
in
please.
the comments.
Help us.
Is English phenomenal.
phenomenal Yale, yeah.
Spell it however you want.
So good job on that. So I actually made a YouTube channel myself just for real estate. It's under my name, Chaim Blau. Anyone wants can go take a look at it. It's pure education. It's
put
not
the
even
link.
entertainment. Yeah, you can put a link.
Link in the description.
Exactly. And the idea over there, I have how to buy a house, 7 steps how to buy a house, and it's broken down. Obviously, you can't put it into a video, the entire process. And there's no one size fits all. Every person has a different circumstance under the situation. So the idea, how it starts, is first of all, you das wissen, wo die kannst kaufen. So going back, I don't think you're going to buy a house in cash, right?
No.
You're probably going to take out a mortgage.
100%.
So-
Ich ga gefragt in cash zu rausbrengen
ja,
der
verstehe.
Terrace.
Zecher, you didn't
I would
invest enough in Dogecoin.
I would never buy a house in cash, even my own house, because it doesn't pay.
Right.
I personally would. I'll tell you why. Because I'm a very big believer in being debt free.
Okay.
And
Dave Ramsey?
hey, Taka, it's as a person, he has like a whole process, a whole how you get debt free and how you can actually start making money. Everything is profit.
Can I bring a question?
Yeah,
Owning a house is an asset or an expense?
it's an asset.
Asset versus
and it's an
liability. That's the word you
and
look for,
no,
right?
so
Okay.
Lamasa, regardless whether it's an asset or it's an expense, it's still you're paying monthly for something more than you have to. When you don't own your house until you own it. Even after you own it, you don't own it because the government cannot come in and say bye.
What's the point?
Technically, eminent domain.
Moshe, what's the point for a mortgage?
Eminent domain, by the
So
way.
you can pay slowly.
Huh?
You can pay slowly.
Wat is the point van een mortgage is?
Let's hear.
Als de dollar wird weniger value die jede jaar. Ze valt de value. Wenn die nimmst daraus een mortgage, zahlst die jetzt mehr, but eventually noch 30 jaar gaat het zijn sach cheaper because demels is de dollar sach weniger wert.
You know what else happens when the dollar is worth less? I
Mhm.
make less, and I can't pay. When the dollar goes down, it goes down exponentially, right? It goes down more and more and more. When I can't pay monthly a mortgage, I don't care if the dollar's worth less. I still can't afford it.
Die guys machen in 30 Jahren Sachen mehr, because man geht doch bezahlen mehr per Schuh, guys da machen mehr, und es geht doch noch alles kosten derselbe mortgage.
No, but dollars worth
versus
less.
jetzt heruplegen der ganze Geld.
I don't think that's the reason why people take out a mortgage. So first of all, most people cannot afford a house in cash. That's
step one.
Nein, that's why Menschen was haben ja. Verwusst nimmt Mark Cuban raus auf jede einzigste property on mortgage.
Because he's leveraging money. So right now the bank everyone is happy. Everyone wins at this point. And again, you have to obviously, there's different types of loans. So if einer is fährt sich gut out und kauft the house, a 30-year mortgage, he'll have to pay beyond his retirement. So a 15-year mortgage might be more beneficial for him, even though he's paying more on a month-to-month basis. But ich will wissen, but the 60 expenses. So that's why I can understand if you're a young guy in your 20s, there's no reason for you to pay off your whole house. You're working. You're making money.
I know, but you don't know that. This is not.
It's a fixed rate.
Sure.
You could take out a 30-year fixed rate.
I know, but you don't know how much you're going to get paid. You don't know how much you're going to get paid in the future. Right now, you have the money.
So you can sell your house.
Now, this house.
You could sell your house.
But then you have to buy another one.
No, you don't.
You have to rent.
Rent
and mortgage in a lot of places are the same amount.
Another thing I'm going to tell you, by the way, in the short term, buying a house is more expensive than renting. Way more expensive. In the long run, it pays off because you have an asset and it becomes, and by the way, you asked before if it's an asset or a liability / expense. I consider a house that you're living in a money pit. That's the real truth.
So gesehen Yiddish.
A money pit means die warst daran Geld dort wegen the dance. You like it and you do things with emotions. I like this house. Ich will machen schön. Ich will mal schön the paint. Ich will mal schön the floor. So,
it's not yours. It's not yours until it's yours.
Dan car is auch nicht
It's not. No, you know exactly why I would buy a car.
What do you mean? Your name is on the deed. Your name is on the deed. You're the owner.
A deed is a
die
thing
hat
that's
gebar Geld von a third party, but ze nicht dein Geld, but ze dein Haus.
Could you sell the house? Could you sell the house?
Yeah.
That's yours.
But I
can't sell something that's not mine.
I want to ask you a question. What did I want to ask?
Wenn die bargs Geld von a friend, ze kaufen a cookie in the grocery, ja, is es aus dein cookie? Weil es ist jenems Geld. Es ist dein cookie, but das dem zurückzahlen.
Can I ask you a question now? If I buy this, right? I buy a bottle of water and I decide I'm not paying for it yet. I'm paying little by little, right? At any point in time, if I can't pay it, someone can go and take this away from me. The original owner can go and say, bye-bye, right? So now, this is not mine. It's mine, but it's not fully mine. I don't care. Deed is just the word.
So wenn sich wie so ist es dann.
It's not mine.
Again, let me tell you something. Here's my question to you. If you're paying this off little by little, could you sell it?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Then it's yours.
But I'm still in debt. Because I'm going to have to find another place.
So wenn sich die jene dich ist gegeben und so, und sie meint, damals ist es aufgelegt of the grocery bill, und die bezahlen Bill, sie kommt, nehmen alle deine Sachen sein, sagt, aber ob das geborgt von einer third party, von einer $2 gekauft der Wasser, ist der Wasser weiter da.
Yeah, but in your head, the way you feel, you're meshibed still to something.
I don't think...
Die bist nicht meshibed the Wasser, die bist meshibed the $2.
Doesn't matter. Something there, and now... But this...
You do know, by the way...
Dann muss keiner nehmen dann Pen auch. Dann Pen ist wert
$15. If you hire a contractor to do work for you and your house that you own, that you bought in cash, and die zahlst dem nicht, he can put a lien on your house.
Right.
And they can take... So
which is why I would...
Even if you buy it in cash, it can be technically taken
100%,
away.
and that's why I think that everyone should pay for everything right away. Why would you
Most people don't have $500,000 or even $300,000 just laying in your bank account.
So don't buy yet.
But so again, all this time when you take out a mortgage, you're building equity. It's my instead of me paying rent for 5 years where I have zero benefits. First of all, when you have a mortgage, you have tax benefits and all that stuff. But aside from the benefits that you get on a yearly basis, after 5 years, ich habe schon herangelegt 5 Jahre von Geld, wenn ich verkaufe der Haus, I get it.
Okay.
Versus rent in 5 years, I got no benefit for I was living.
So I guess what I'm saying is that if obviously if you don't have that money, meaning if you can't buy a house yet, then obviously take a mortgage. Do whatever you want. But if you have the money to just throw at it, I really feel I would do it.
So if you have the money to buy for it, then you're generally a business guy, usually.
Yeah.
And you would invest your money it will make your money that you invest, that you take out a mortgage and the money that you have left over, invest that in the market or in another real estate property, you'll make more money. And then you'll be able to pay off this house.
The point is everyone that has money or doesn't have money and can have access to Geld, jeder eine will grow in sein Portfolio. Jeder eine will bekommen mehr. Die lebst a certain amount von Juden. Kannst nicht warten, bis das wird auch gezahlt, zu kaufen noch eins.
So personally, I think it's in the head, let's say. but he mentioned this other person that has this as a step by step. How do you actually start thinking like a businessman? I think it's in the mind. When you don't have to pay monthly, meaning if you have barely any expenses monthly, you're not in debt. That's the first time where you can actually start feeling like you're making money, meaning you're starting to actually make money. I'm in it. And when you drop it on a house right then, and everything is paid for, your car, your house. I know you're paying still taxes and everything, property taxes, but it's still very, very, very little. Everything after that is profit. Everything. It's not like some of it goes to the payment, some of it. Everything from there, it's like a reset button, I think. That it's like you press this button, you pay all the money, everything, your car, your house, everything. From then on, you can build whatever business you want. You have zero expenses, no dagas.
Jeder einzigste Business hat Geld, was kommt heran, Geld, was geht heraus, Geld, was sei zu für den Platz, Geld, was sei zu für die Employees. Sie wissen nicht, wie sich Geld auch kosten jeden Tag. Sie haben keine Ahnung.
So because everybody does this in
business, okay? So zu haben, wir sitzen an live, kein Business. A riesige Business ist kaum nicht
business and personal are two different things. But you know what I'll answer you? You know what I'll answer you? I'll answer you like this. There's no one size fits all. I think it varies from person to person. I'm personally a structured person that I know I can take out a mortgage and I'll continue to make my monthly payments.
I love debt. Weißt du was? I love debt. Für was habe ich so stark lieb? Because ich nehme jenems Geld und ich mache Geld auf jenems Geld.
Correct. Let me ask you something. When the bank when the bank takes money from people, right? People put money into their savings account. You think it's sitting in a box? No. They take this money and invest it.
Move it around.
Why? Sure. Because you make more money on the money. You make money work for you instead of you working for money. So now I'm not saying buying a house in cash is a bad thing. It might be more beneficial for certain people. If you're retiring, buy a house in cash.
Ja, aber gered wenn Menschen singen.
Yeah, absolutely.
60, 70-jährige Mensch.
Right. When you're retiring, buy your house in cash if you can.
So what would you say? If, let's say, you had a choice to make a mortgage for 10 years or 50 years, you would take 50 years?
50 years, no, because when I'm in 50 years from now, I'm going to be over 65, and I don't want to make payments.
So let's say up
30
until
years.
65.
So first of all, I don't even think there is no 50-year mortgage.
Let's say you had a chance. I'm saying
if I had
theoretical.
A chance, theoretically, and I would have much smaller monthly payments because it's split up into 50 years as opposed to 10 years. Yeah. I'd probably take 50-year mortgage.
I would definitely do it because as ich habe gesagt, the value von der Dollar fällt und man macht mehr Geld.
But Menschen trachten nicht das.
Also, the value doesn't have to fall. The value doesn't have to fall. You don't know that.
Kick heran in de Cheshbon von Geld. Ich will nicht heranbringen der Topic, aber ich werde später. Gast zu sehen, als ein größer Part von der Reason for was Mortgages werden gemacht ist because the Geld fällt in value. Because dann Payments in Jahren nach ihm geht sein billiger.
It's not 100%. You don't know that.
You know that 100%, weil the dollar is controlled and sie machen, also fallen bei
I know, but what's if currency changes? What's if they decide randomly? We're getting close to that, right? Randomly, the currency can change or it could be backed by something else. Something can happen.
Was there an interesting thing?
There was just a house, by the way, sorry to cut you off, but the house that was bought, sold it with Bitcoin.
I'm assuming it's not the first one.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Come on.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that means
how many Bitcoin? 4 Bitcoin?
Whatever, yeah. 53,000 for one, right?
How much is the house? How much is the house?
It's actually 55 now.
55 went up.
6 coins. Right, it's a flegzan. I heard this from someone. It's a flegzan. Like, it used to be like, how much is that? Money. How much? Geld. It used to have like a sack.
Yeah, it had a money symbol on it.
Right, exactly. It was du hast and you can get whatever you want.
Einige wissen a picture, sehr valid point, as the Geld, lassen wir sagen, der Haus wird sich verkauft, lassen wir sagen, für 700 Stücklich Gold, ja?
Ja.
Okay, whatever, 500 Stücklich Gold. Rendlich, whatever.
Golden and rendlich. I used to think it's like these little gold rings.
No.
I don't know why I decided that maybe rendlich.
Yeah.
But ringelig and rendelig means becomes rendelig. So golden and rendelig. In plätze. We're not going to get into it.
Okay. I'm sorry for asking.
If you want to know, comments.
Okay.
I won't tell you, but you can try.
I know.
So gewissen, als lassen wir sagen, so kost 500 Stücklich Gold in 1989 und jetzt verkauft sich, sie gewinnen, damals gekost a certain amount, the dollar, sie gewinnen, let's say, sie gewinnen $35,000 home.
Yeah.
Und jetzt, in 2020 hat sich dasselbe Haus verkauft, lassen wir sagen, für $235,000.
And the same amount of gold.
Same amount of gold.
Right. It's called inflation, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
inflation.
Beautiful.
Seht ihr eine Vakantie nicht weit von euer Heim? Wilt zustellen a Geschmack Shabbos für eure Familie? Hat a Simche in Lakewood? Seht a zeitweilige Dier in Lakewood? Lakewood Hosts is Enfer. Die höchste Standard Villas, Dieres, rachwesdige Hase, zugestellt auf den schönsten Vernehm, luxurious in Rach. A kuschere Kitchen. In rachwesdige Zimmern. Herrliche Esszimmern für die ganze Familie. Wir wollen keimlich Schmied werden für die Zufriedenstellung unserer Customers. A Vakatie bei Lakewood Hosts wird sich Gedenken von lange Jahren beisraschen. Lakewood Hosts, der Symbol für Qualität und Service.
So what was the question?
By the way, the Rav movement, the minds that's gelost, I voice not unkashem Sachen Zeit. Kim zurück a Tag später, der erste Seven was like, wow, gemeint, ich stamm geplappelt in der voice note. Na, der Wahl ist es.
It's full of information?
Yeah.
That's a narcissist. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're on? Are we good?
We're back.
Matti.
We're back. Mic check.
All right, so
And
what were you
business
saying?
yet. Look, you're speaking about opportunities. He's doing something. So ich denk, when I sold my first house a year after I became an agent, and the buyer was looking at an area, I bought a specific area. The house is very expensive there. $1 million houses. Obviously, in Toms River.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I can't afford, and he was very real with himself, but he wanted to be walking distance. So, ich weiß schon wie so, da habe ich der Ziege geführt. Ich habe getroffen nach Haus. 7-minute walk. Agents haben gewissen, der Haus am Menschen. The house was a hidden gem. The owners, the sellers, they were going through a divorce. I get, goyish Menschen. And they dropped the price from $550 to $525 to $470. I ended up getting him the house for $450,000.
Oh, wow. What's the value? 7?
So it was listed initially at $550. $550, $560, somewhere there, and it came down to $450.
This was your first sell?
First out, yeah.
Wow.
And the house, gorgeous. So I didn't know, ich nicht gewusst, dass er wohnt a Yid of Yei Block. Ich habe gemeint, es ist Goyim. Walking 7 minutes, he's older, he's coming from Bar Park, older, whatever, middle age. And a kid said, and he closed on it. But when we walked in, he was real. Got an imagination. Ik zei de house, ze got a bisschen schmeck. A finished basement that had a gorgeous backyard. It was like a stickel pizza lot, but it wasn't narrow in the front. It was wide in the front, and it became wider and wider as you went to the backyard. So I got a basketball court, mit a pool, in grass and everything because it had such a wide backyard. So he loved this house. And then later, after he ended up finding out next door woont a Yid, and nachdem after he bought it. Somebody knocked on the door, and he got the house right next door. So I draai off a block, and he's perfect where he wants to be.
Nice.
Wow. See, now I know why you stayed, because that does something for your motivation.
Absolutely. When I got to that closing table, he was smiling ear to ear. I know a picture. I think he smiled, and he talking about a well-known person. I don't want to give it away. I don't know who wants to know, but a well-known person. Mention Weiss name, and he was so happy. Gets me down Vab, and Ken's my kid that I'm friends with his. That's how I actually got him through his son. But
I think I know who it is.
Ken's on.
We'll talk privately.
Yeah. A kid said. But the point was that, and after he purchased it, he didn't move in right away. He hired a contractor, and I think he put in about $10,000 or $20,000. So just to give you a little bit of a rough number, most people when they do work in a house after they close on it, lying around generally a minimum of $50,000 because once you're doing it already, tis days, you don't know how quickly it adds up.
Right.
So it Norge dacht like $20,000. I walked in, they came the house.
Wow.
I like the pool lights, imagination. You walked in, I'm sure Yidden haben gesehen, der host. It's not in a good block.
People with a vision. Menschen mit a vision können auch immer sagen, wie anyone was halt nicht.
Sure. And that, yeah.
Kann sein, sei groß in an industry, and if you don't have a vision,
or imagination.
Right.
A vision comes from imagination.
Correct. So there's a new mall coming in the Belze Gegend in Lakewood, a shopping center. So it used to be a grocery. Yeah, it's a guy's in Yankel's grocery. It's like a stickel. It looks like a
related to the garbage truck.
I don't know. I don't think so. The kid said it was in a like the gyms, the basketball gym, indoor basketball gym, like the metal walls, like they have in camps. They have it.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it was like. Yeah. And his grocery was there. I mentioned him in Dutton, and I had opgekauft, heb an investor, whatever. And like Dutton, jetzt off probably 15 stores. Says mom, and it's not off a main road. Says off a road versus off a main road, and macht this modern, gorgeous, a vision. Had a vision, and it's amazing what you can do with imagination and determination. Instead of just going with everybody, go with the flow. Like, if you would see that, you're like, oh, this place is garbage. Like, if that came aan, ik lag aan geld.
Yeah.
Imagination can do
Ich
that.
rede verzeln story, ich habe a relative, was hat invested in real estate, Juden zurück. Ich gewinne mit a bunch von friends, hat invested in real estate. Anyway, so ich komme zu ein property in buildings, I'm invested in buildings. There's ein building in a certain neighborhood. As jene building is like a few $100,000 less than the andere. En ze hebben alle zich gewinnt, like, was is de deal? Van was is de zaak billiger? So we gaan maar omgaan dort in the neighborhood. Ik kijk een building nach building. Is het omgekeerd eventually today zijn de building was is. Anyway, ze komen daar toe en ze hebben een vragende mens wat de problem is. The problem is as kind of what niet zo. Says kind of what niet zo. Is een leidige building? Ja, is een leidige building. So was the issue ping van kids is perfect. Zoekt ze doen als zo zag animals, rats, cats. Was die wils niet in de building as when anyone came to own, they don't want to touch it.
You want that headache. Yeah.
So zij alles er naar weggegangen en Klal Yisroel. My relative, kijkt op deze als opportunity.
Absolutely.
Ze doen rats, ze doen zaken. Was dit man? Maar die
make
Steiner
a
was
zoo.
neemt dat weg rats.
Exterminator.
Oh no. What? Oh no. No, I
What?
thought you make a zoo.
Oh,
It's a zoo. Come on, see our rats.
That's one opportunity.
yeah.
Yes.
Or you can get rid of them.
So,
I never thought of that.
so wie schwer is de guy in de rief naar companies dat rausnemen de rats? Eindig is ook die daar Steiner rausnemen rats?
I'm sure so give more problems if you rat, but the point,
The point
is to rehab it.
En niet nur dem nog, als ik gezegd dat ze zeggen naar ergere condition, wie ze rein, als hij aufgekleed, als man kijkt, maar gewoon stimmen der Platz. En het bekend van nog billiger. Ik heb gemaakt de ganze dag. And he made a huge profit off it, because that was a hidden gem.
That's a fix and flip.
Ja, but gezogen.
Or fix and hold, I should say. Het is gehalten.
Ik weet niet, she is gehalten.
Oh,
Zijn
that's
eerst,
okay.
whatever, gewoon is gered.
One of the
Ze zegt
two.
details met hem. But point being
Usually
is,
people who buy expensive, they don't talk. You know, you try to get information out of somebody that made it. Like, he'll give
They
you a
don't
little
tell you
tidbit, a
anything.
snippet, but they don't, you know what I'm saying?
Unless you're Donald Trump.
Then you don't stop talking about your goals and your
I
accomplishments.
make so much money.
en keiner weiß nicht wie viel.
$78
Fake it till you make it.
taxes.
But once you make it,
Don't fake it.
that's still.
The Chaps does Elon Musk made it. I was just watching this little clip. It shows all the richest people through, I think, from 2008 all the way till now.
Yeah.
In the last year and a half, he went from like, I think 30 to 1. In like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
went so
Yeah.
quickly.
Geflogen,
So,
yeah.
It's so amazing. And lacht van jedem. By the way, is against the ganze lockdown van de
I know.
COVID.
But is geen aangemischt en gewoon niet.
He's very neutral in general.
He doesn't like to get political, but if it hurts him,
Ich
you
halt-
don't shut down my factory.
Wie houdt die?
Yeah, that's
Wie
why he
houdt
moved.
die is of the spectrum van Democrats and Republicans?
I think
right
he's
and left?
neither. Neither.
Wie of een spectrum is
I think when
Right.
you have that much money, it doesn't make a difference to you. It's whoever
I-
you
ich
can
ha-
get
Why
your
do
way.
you- let me ask you,
Ich
why
houd-
do you care?
Ich
Why
houd
do you
het
care?
niet to the center, but een beetje rechts. Ik houd het
can't know.
daar.
You
It is a
can't know.
capitalist, that's for sure. So capitalists are generally Republicans,
Republican.
right? And this kind of socialist. They will not nemen de
Direct-
rage mensen
Nee,
geld.
socialists and extreme Democrats. Don't say Democrats are
No,
socialists.
I didn't say that. I said generally the socialists are Democrats.
Far left.
I think he's probably classical liberal. Like he's what liberals used
Libertarian.
to be.
He's
No, he's not libertarian because I know that he believes in government mandating, let's say, global warming. He believes in that.
Because he has a passion for
Right,
global
so he's
warming.
he's a classical liberal because he believes in government controlling certain things and telling you what to pay for. He
By
believes
the way-
in protecting the environment.
By the way, for the audience, what's the gelijk tussen Republican en Libertarian?
Republican
Gaat
en
er was zich
Libertarian?
vragen, because pinkt dat mensen wijzen iPhone en Samsung, wijzen mensen Republican en Democrats.
Okay.
Mensen, wenn ich habe OnePlus device, ja, mensen vragen,
Yeah.
ich sag,
what's that?
welche Phone hast du?
OnePlus.
OnePlus, ist das Samsung oder iPhone?
I Google.
I'm like,
Yeah, we used to have Moto phones.
Motorola?
You know? Did you were
Back
the
in
one
the
who
days.
introduced me to a Moto?
Oh, the
yeah.
G4. Yeah, yeah.
Moto
It
G4.
was like it was
ze had the
affordable.
button
It
in
was
the
a good
back.
phone.
Ze had the on button in the back.
Yeah,
Into the camera.
Could be,
Could
I
be the
can't
older
remember.
model. No, I think
Yeah.
that was the Note. Maybe that was Motorola G something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Motorola type had the
But it was
button in the back.
affordable and it was a good phone.
a good
Whatever. So basically, you want to know the difference between a
difference in
Republican. Okay,
Republican.
so first let me give some background here. Republican doesn't mean you believe in anything. A Democrat doesn't mean you believe in anything. The Republican Party is a platform. If you are more towards like there's a lot of people in this platform who somewhat agree.
They have the same core values.
Right, kind of. Some of them have a little bit different, but
Again,
it's more the
so-
religious values, more
traditional.
and then, right?
More traditional.
And then there are people that believe more in big. So it's usually people who believe in big government or small government.
Right.
That's what they claim.
That's libertarian and
Right, but it happens to be the more conservative people believe. Most of them believe in less government.
Right.
Not all the way. Some people believe in more government, but in different areas. So there's a thing called fiscally conservative, like the people that believe in money, meaning capitalism. So that's usually what ties everybody together, capitalism, and they're more on the Republican side. So the Republicans have conservatives. You can be more conservative. You can be sometimes authoritarian. Also, that means
Correct.
like have people actually enforce conservatism.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So
It's right.
or libertarians.
It's a
right, so you can
platform,
be that.
correct.
Democrats have liberals, have socialists, have communists, and have
Communists?
anarchists. Yeah. The Democrat
Atheists.
side.
Kann so genau sagen.
Atheists.
Yeah, there's plenty of
Stop
stuff.
nicht,
No,
stop
there's
nicht.
on both
Red
sides.
Water.
So the difference between, let's say, a conservative. So so these are not belief systems. These are parties that somewhat. They basically took America and they said, okay, we're dividing you into two. Which side do you want to be on? It's like color war, right? I don't believe in anything, but we're all on one team.
People believe what is shoved down their ears.
Right. They're saying you
So,
have to fit into these two
if
boxes.
If you're going to listen to a liberal democratic news station, you're going to start picking up values that they have, because unless you're so strong in your way that this is who you are, most people are like most goyim, I feel like, are somewhere in the middle, and again, I'm not talking about the young people going to college campuses is Einstieg liberal plots
'cause
where
they
you
teach
do
you
what
this.
you want to do and be who you want to be and do all that kind of. That's what they tell you, which it's wrong. I don't want to get all systemic here and everything. You can talk about this for hours, but the idea is that Republicans don't want to get involved in what you do. You do you make money. Democrats want to have as much as control as possible.
They wollen
So
haben
me,
powers.
personally, I'm a libertarian, so you know that I
Yeah.
didn't choose Republicans for a reason. Libertarian means, what is libertarian? The meaning, the most
want liberty.
far libertarian. I mean, no, but there's something else also.
Was
The
ist der
most-
Chilik zwischen
okay.
a Republican and a Libertarian?
I mean, so
It's two different
Not a
things.
Republican. You mean a conservative?
Conservative and
and a
libertarian.
libertarian. Now,
Correct.
I'll tell you this. Libertarians believe in one Zach. It's called the non-aggression principle. It's called NAP in short, meaning I don't do something to you. I can't tell you to do something unless you make me do something. Meaning if you use force against me, you lose your rights.
Exactly.
That's the core libertarian
yeah.
value, meaning including taxes. If I'm not getting what I'm paying for, let's say, I can choose. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different versions of this. It's a very long topic because
Yeah,
how
you
do you
could
work?
talk
How
about
do
this
you
for
work out a
hours.
society where there's no
Okay.
taxes? How do you work out such a thing? So there's ways.
So was is takke sei Chesh mit real estate, the Democrats and Republicans? Was will the Democrat to do any differences between
So,
Democrats and
yeah,
Republicans?
yeah, I
and
believe-
Private
real estate?
property ownership.
No, a lot of things. So it happens to be Biden had just proposed a new tax plan. I don't know if you saw it, but Cotton Call, he wants to get rid of wegnemen, a legal loophole in the tax code. It's called 1031 exchange. So 1031, I believe, is where it's located in the tax code, and it's called a 1031 exchange, which means this is for investors. Investors nutzen das allemal, jeden Tag, tagtäglich. The idea behind this loophole is, die was jetzt kaufen an erste real estate investment property. And du bist nicht kein größer Gewier, right? You want to get there. Halbst du mit a $300,000 house. Kaufst and lagst an renter, and zult, noch 5 Jahren, you accumulated money, was jetzt kaufen ein größer Haus. So I have to sell this.
Refinanced.
Nein, nicht refinance. Ich verkauf das mit dem Geld, was ich habe gemacht auf der Haus, plus appreciation, der Haus darauf in value, kann ich jetzt kaufen an Multifamily für 3 Units. So gewöhnlich, ob die verkaufst an investment property und die kaufst nicht an neue investment property, zahlst du etwas called capital gains, meaning the profit, was die hast gemacht auf der Haus, das ist jetzt so ein taxes, the government will Geld. Aber ob die kaufst jetzt nach a property, it's called deferring taxes, die stippst up the taxes und die zahlst du keine taxes jetzt und kannst kaufen der Haus tax-free. So it's amazing. For an investor, it's a phenomenal. Jetzt noch 3 Jahre verkauft das, kauft jetzt a building. And the idea behind this is
You're not paying taxes on your sales.
but why would they make that loophole? The idea is as the biggest house the biggest building, the biggest piece of real estate property that you sell in the end of your life, that's why it's called tax defer. You're deferring your taxes. You're pushing it off. It's not you're pushing it off. So the last sale you make that you don't buy another property, zahlst du a lump sum von alles, basically of der letzte Building, das ist, kennst an $20 million, that's what you're paying taxes on.
Gast eibig zu bei der letzte.
Der letzte, jetzt.
So wie
Ja.
so wie einer nimmt der Karte jetzt das Rule, das nicht so kann taxes.
Okay,
Okay, but
das heißt, du nimmst das so.
ich ship von Amerika zu jetzt Rule a car und ich will sagen jetzt das Rule jetzt, ja? Ich ship mein Karte zu jetzt Rule. So, das nicht so kann taxes, but lass mich sagen, sie gehen nehmen $20,000, sie gehen es heranlegen in einen Account. Wenn die verkaufst dann Car weiter für einen Minute Ruhe, legt heran an $20,000 und die nimmst es heraus.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
That's very
Yeah.
weird.
So, die zahlst nicht, du,
Yeah, but there, the taxes on cars is, I think, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Very, very. Because
100%.
also-
That's why people,
It
the
depends
cars
which
over
car
there,
makers. It depends which car makers. I believe Europe told weinige tax. The
carbon emission, like less carbon emission.
no.
cars,
The why do you pay tax? You pay certain taxes because it's coming from out of the country.
nein. Anyone
Okay.
was kommt von Amerika zu jetzt Rule, darf nicht zahlen kann taxes
But
on car.
that's a separate thing.
But einer was went jetzt Rule, geht zahlen 100% taxes on car. Because sie wollen nicht so stumm cars. Sie haben
you to take
sie
the
haben
buses
the
and
best
trains.
I get mit all the
bus system in der Welt. But pink verkehrt, dort, ich hab mich jetzt, dort zahlst du gut, weil wenn die verkaufst die car, nimmst du zurück nach $20,000. Du, wenn die verkaufst der letzte property, dann musst du die ganze Sache.
So right. So Adega. So that's the idea behind the 1031. So you don't have to pay taxes now. You have a certain amount of time.
He's
Whatever.
getting rid of it.
Getting rid of what?
Biden is getting rid
He
of
wants to
it.
eradicate it, correct. But the 1031 exchange was die hab's nicht, dass ob der Mensch is jetzt he's 80 years old and starbt and es got 13 Kinder, it goes back to zero.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
So
This is what Biden.
no.
wants to do?
This is a
This is a
1031
alte
exchange.
Sache.
That's an old thing. So
So
basically,
man like to set off auf alte Menschen nochmal der letzte Mal.
nein,
Warte
basically,
soll sterben für 2 Jahre.
yeah, whatever. I guess you can technically do that, but
This is,
I don't.
Noch
I
a
don't
loophole.
I don't. I don't know
That's
how that
why
would
this
work.
show is in Yiddish.
Yeah. A legale loophole.
Yeah.
The kid says, so that's 1031 exchange. So Evil, he wants to get rid of this. Nish nor dame, I believe I don't recall what the capital gains taxes was on, if let's say, ich have an investment property.
This is federal?
Yeah.
Federal taxes?
I mean,
I didn't know that that's...
To do states, do federal.
This is
different.
income.
This
It's
is
about income or it's about property?
no, it's about the profit I make, or it's about the profit that I made off of. It's going
But
to
it's income. Lamar.
Sales tax.
Okay, so if it's technically federal income tax. No?
I'm not 100% sure. I mean,
Okay, no, but I know it's federal, so it's not like a state in Tucka. Biden can
could
technically
be
do that.
right, federal, yeah. So okay, now was I will jetzt auch getan is the
And
capital.
by the way, in Florida, there's no can state taxes.
Yeah, I know that.
Right, state tax,
They
right.
still have property tax, though.
Yeah, property tax, right.
So do alle meine taxes.
Okay, so jetzt the capital gains tax. Lass mich sagen, ob ich verkaufe nicht aus. Ich retire, ich will the Geld, ich will schon zahlen taxes, right? I believe now, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure there's brackets, but 16% or something like that. Capital gains taxes. He wants to raise it to 43%.
Wow.
So this is going to lock up the market.
Damn, man.
Keiner kann nicht verkaufen.
Bechlal, het weggenommen
It
fracking.
didn't pass yet, by the way. I'm just saying he's proposing this new
You
tax.
think it's
Okay.
going to pass?
Tamanish macht
wouldn't be shocked.
executive order.
I wouldn't
Bye.
be shocked. The last year he had.
It's not so simple.
What do you mean it's not so
I
simple?
don't think it's so
That was
simple.
just sign it. That was just from Steider.
No.
Could
Again,
the- I think
there's
the
still
Supreme
there's
Court-
still a house. There's a house, even though the majority of the House is Democrats. Doesn't mean every Democrat is going to agree to it.
Was sag ich, kann machen executive orders. Das ist was er will. In seiner ersten
No,
Woche
things
hat
have to
er
pass. It has to go through. It
override.
has to go through
There's a-
Congress.
there's a
executive orders.
Again, I'm not sure, but
The president can't make an executive
Wait,
order. Hargen and mensch.
Er
It has
gemacht,
to be constitutional, also.
dit was will. Zijn zoeken aan
I can't.
constitution.
It is what I will. If he would
not
do what he
true.
wants,
Dit was aan cabinet
If
wel.
you bring this to
Yeah.
the Supreme Court, which is hard, but there's a process. There is a legal
he
process.
wanted to pack the courts as well.
Pack the
Ja,
court.
en
if
Nancy Pelosi heeft gezegd nein.
It's not going to work. They can't.
En
that
ich
would
halte
be
ze gaat
crazy.
nog geschehen, ob ze komt zurück als President wie in the future,
Eventually.
in 20
Yeah,
years, 20, 50 years, halte ich
Yeah.
ze gaat pack in the court.
It's very possible. Because the way that both sides
De
are
regel was
heading,
de
it's getting
Evans-
more and
de
more and
regel-
more left, more and more right.
You do
The
realize
regel was the Evans-
the country keeps on getting more divided.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have 15 20 years today.
We want to go
A
back to
Democrat
the
and a
roots.
Republican. A Democrat, they had different, but they still. There was a certain level of like respect. Like we're on opposite sides. You have different. It used to be about values. I like the big government. I like the safety net, and I want capitalism. I want small government. There's a time
Yeah. If you look at the map, let's say, of every election, it used to be there was basically purple.
Purple,
America
right,
was
was a-
purple.
yeah.
Slowly but surely, it used to be changing different shades of purple, right? Because blue and red. Every
Mixed,
state had
right.
blue and red. The master, some states had more red, more blue. Now, for some reason, you look at the map of this election, and it's getting very, very isolated. The blue is very blue, red. It's getting much more.
You know that if you look at a map, it's interesting. The elections map from the last one. If you look at it, it's mostly red.
Yeah, because the bigger states.
The bigger states, the more dense cities, the high populated cities are all blue.
The bigger states are actually all red. But
No.
there's less people there.
The volume, right? Correct.
So gaat load wiffel vote and wiffel.
The electoral college is established, right? Correct.
But also, every state, right? Let's say California, Florida, Texas, and New York has more people in those 4 states than the rest of all the other states combined.
Wow.
Just in those 4.
Really?
I bet
much more.
I bet als du sagst, Menschen, was am Kamels geht von Wisconsin oder Wyoming. Weißt du, ich mein?
This is a geography problem.
I hear.
Was du New York, Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania.
Big states.
I always said this. If you have all the Yidden, all the Fremme Yidden, they move to Wyoming, we can literally have our own state.
100%.
Really? We can have our own state?
De wijs me komt to Wyoming.
Let's go. There's nothing there.
You know, the problem is
Alles
you
is-
can real estate that.
Alles is geroes.
We'll make it.
Sure, alles is land.
Yeah, die kan gaan dat en kopen 100 acres for like
Koif
$50,000.
Kien.
Weiniger.
You can have a, what do you mean? You can have a whole milchige
Dairy
and
farm?
fleischige industry there.
By the way, ze vond niet gewoon een slechte plan.
Yeah, you sell the other half of the
Why
cow,
are
you
we
sell it
here
anyway.
in New York and New Jersey?
Wel, Jeden zijn eigen geween in de main cities.
No, that's
en-
okay. No. Yidden were not. What are you talking about?
Sure.
Look at Europe. When you see Europe,
Wie
everyone
hebben
was
Jeden gewoond?
all
In
over.
London. In grenscheck de
Nee, dat begrijpt de United
No, not
States. Why
today.
did we end up
Not
in
today's
New
day.
York, in Brooklyn?
Want Jeden zijn eigen dort wie de geld is.
Nee,
Jeden
What are you
zijn-
talking about? No,
I
I have a theory
After
about
World
this.
War
I have a
II.
theory about
After
this.
World War
After
II,
World
they
War
ended
II,
up here.
Ja.
Ellis Island.
and you know why? You know what happened?
Warum zijn zij geblieben?
Because they only can
Wel,
do
dus
is die
doe
gaan plaatsen
jobs, dus
wonen.
doe geld, dus doe alles.
Ik
tell
zie
you
gaan
what
plaatsen
Jeden zijn
wonen.
eigen geween in de main state.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. You
Of
don't know what you're
course.
talking about. I'll tell you exactly what has happened. Okay, you look at Europe. These little tiny towns are all over. Yidden were all over, not the main city. They were in the main cities also, but they're all over. Before World War II, America, mostly Yidden, yeah, there were plenty in New York, but there was plenty of Yidden in Idaho, in Colorado, I think even Colorado, a whole bunch of places where
California.
Yidden are not there now. Yeah,
Ohio.
California is also a
Ich bin gegangen,
place.
ein Schaus bin gegangen zu Youngstown, Ohio. Ausgestorbener Stuhl, was einmal gewesen a
Right.
riesige... Du weißt,
Okay, Ohio, what's it called is in Ohio?
Maar zeggen ze wel Michelle
What's that city in Ohio that there's a lot of Yidden in?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. So
Cleveland
there's
doesn't
not
have
a lot of Eden, but yeah, sure.
You have out-of-towners.
Yeah, normal, nice community. But what happened
You
is
have
that
in
when
Missouri
Eden come
also,
here,
right? Missouri.
Yeah, Taka.
By the way, du weißt was Jeden haben gewohnt in Ohio?
Aber-
Als ze gewend uit factories. General Motors, dat ik had factories, hij zag Jeden om daar gearbeidt.
So
Ze
there
gewend
was
een
a
riesige
Panusa.
business.
Okay, but
En
Lamasa,
yet it's
when
not
Eden
gonna
came
do
here
is
after
again.
the war, when Eden came here to let's say Ellis Island, and they came here, they got off the boat. They didn't have any money. They didn't have anything to do. Right away, you need to find a job. Right away. It's not that the Panusa is here. It's just
But-
right
Yeah,
away.
the
There's nowhere to
government
travel.
program.
Wat is government programs? Wie komt u
is
van New
before
York?
all that
Wie
stuff.
komt u van New York to Wyoming met geld?
How are you traveling?
True, but was met land? Was een Jeden eigen gewend land? Was een
Jeden
Jeden...
sind I've
Was
given
een
a
Jeden
lot.
eigen gewend in
What are you talking about?
En nu wie heißt es dort, wie de innovators am gewend in Wien? Was een Jeden
Vienna?
eigen gewend in Wien?
They weren't just Ibig, they were there also.
Ja, weil
but
Jeden
everywhere around it, they were
gewend
also
in
there.
de grootste stad. Kikst auf the history van Klal Yisroel,
I
Jeden
wanna-
eigen gewend de main cities.
Okay, so-
Eigen gewend by the ports.
Nein, ich
There's
a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference between Yidens and an Eibegewein in the big cities, and there's a difference between saying that and Yidens and an Ochit dort gewein. There was everywhere else. You look at the map of Europe, everywhere else.
Ze gewend film met der vlogge, niet
More.
Jeden gewend in Bureau.
No, there were probably no.
in the main cities.
You can't say it's like this. You can't say it's like
De gab's
it's like
voor
America.
World War II.
Yeah.
Waar zeg je hier in zijn gemeenteveld?
Sure, of course.
6 million. If World War II would not happen, hast du Ahnung, gesagt, jeden wohl gewinnen jetzt?
We wouldn't be a minority.
Du weißt, dass jüdische Zeitungen sind rausgekommen, jede einzigste Woche.
6
Du weißt, dass jüdische gewinn a language was millions of people spoke.
You have how many in the ganze Welt jetzt? I believe you sag jeden do about 13 million Jiden.
15, yeah.
13, 15. 6 or 7 are in Eretz Yisrael. And noch dem, right, 6 or 7 million? Something like that?
Possible, yeah.
No,
Ganz
maybe
gar
not.
nicht.
Maybe
Weiß,
not.
sag
Maybe
Menschen,
not
was
more.
du in India.
Yeah.
Could be, whatever.
Maybe more, but kids, but the biggest and but outside of Eretz Yisrael, the biggest population,
New York.
the biggest population,
Population.
population Well, obviously.
Population
Nit
Talamed.
Population is in the tri-state area, right?
Try to kick it's not
Probably New
population.
York.
Population.
Just
Population.
I would say I would even make it more. Just New York is probably the biggest. Even in just New York alone has more than any
now
other state.
Lakewood is making a comeback.
No, but more than any other state. Come on, New York.
New York more than any
I'm
other
not talking
state.
about Frimme Yidden. We're talking about everyone.
Okay, I'm talking about right. Let's
Shem
say
Shabbos oder Bechlal Ayid?
reform.
Identify as a practicing
Jewish?
Arega,
practicing
one second.
traditional anything.
So, one second. So they, Rav Yidden was on, you had American Yidden was going to fight the war, right? There were some,
Of course.
You can point them out in a crowd today even.
So again, yeah, the Harrys, you know. Everyone has one friend like that, no? I get it, Sean. So,
Nicht bei uns Chassidim.
nine.
Nine?
I'm sure. Okay.
Huh?
There's plenty.
Ja?
There's plenty.
Well, she's a Harry.
Moshe ist nicht von unseren. No?
Right. I get it, Sean. So the house the meeste Yidden do, and this was all the people that were left over. Was een niet garantieheidsrol nog de Krieg. Zijn hem do. And how many Yidden are living here in this area? A million, something like that. So stel dich voor if you had 6 million more people with families, well, you would have 30 million Yidden maybe now. Like
we would make up a majority.
a huge thing. So imagine grappen is like it's crazy.
Bechlal, the elections in New York City, alles wenden zich af ins. Geheim
No. What are you talking
What?
about? No way.
I think you're really overestimating us.
Andrew Yang hat zweimal in zijn
Yay.
promotional videos
Yay.
het nicht naar rausgegeben, Bar Park.
Is was.
Just saying.
Is was.
Just
Er wil
saying.
zijn friends met
There's a
ons.
lot
Huh?
more. There's a
Because
lot more
Brooklyn-
Hispanics.
Weil had
Chaim
a
says-
black vote. Had a black vote.
But it could
It
be.
also matters. It's not.
Yeah,
it
but it's
matters
not in the most. Ach,
Not even close.
New York City.
but wie
New
de
York
guys-
City, Manhattan. Weet je, mensen mooi dat?
It used to
Right.
be. It used to be a
By
little
the way, it's
more.
interesting.
Before now,
It's
now
interesting
tons
how
of people.
Yidden used to live in Manhattan. You know, there used to be
used to be,
shields there.
nog
zaken.
altijd doen Yidden.
Ja, maar niet zo wie
It's
ze
not the
geweest.
same.
Now, you're talking about. Ze
the
gaan
bar
doen.
park.
Ze gaan doen.
Is die Englander woont in Manhattan?
Much better it is, but
Ze
Oh ja? Google us.
Is raar?
Google us.
Is raar?
He's worth like $7 billion.
That's why he lives in Manhattan. Okay, but
Gekocht was
Izzy, if you're watching this,
sponsor.
he knows how much you make.
Sponsor.
By the way, the sponsor from the show
Yeah.
Yeah.
is lakewoodhost.com.
It's
Yeah,
the perfect.
gezien.
This is the perfect episode to actually talk about Lakewood hosts, because this
Hello.
guy right here sells houses.
Is Lakewood.
Oh,
Ik ben
right.
Lakewood Alliance. You know.
He's our host in Lakewood.
Hoog Thames River, was had niet geschreven zeggen.
Zij 10 times hebben Roget.
Yeah, they do.
I
They do.
believe
Namelijk
Lakewood
gezogen
House.
Lakewood en Thames River, Jake Turks gezegd dat had niet geschreven zeggen.
Don't get me started on that. It's like. Ik ga het zeggen. De mensen was wonen in de Thames River. If I was wonen in de Thames River, zou zijn een kim een week in Lakewood. No,
Yeah, we spoke about it.
right?
The what?
The people that moved
As
out to Thames
mensen
River,
was-
they would have not moved there if there would not be Lakewood.
Oh, that's what I
They
said.
piggybacked
dat was hem
off
gezegd.
of,
Yeah.
there's no question in my mind. Maar Bride gewinnt
Everything they get is from Lakewood.
Van de eerste was hem gemoved op Thames River. Ik woont op Mamish op the border from Thames River and Lakewood. Ik kocht een house for, I think in the 4s or low 5s. Now he can sell it for $1 million.
Wow, that's a good
5, 6
investment.
years ago. But he didn't buy it as an investment.
By the way, he said border. For those that think that I don't know Yiddish,
The Granits.
Just
I'm
gonna
sorry,
say it.
I'm
The
sorry.
Granits.
Rewind. I didn't say anything.
Erik is ook
Gainits.
Gainits.
It's no Gainits is something else. A Granits is such a good word.
Ma-
It feels so good when you say it.
Give me that get the Gainits. Give me
Granits?
that get the Gainits.
Granits.
No, give me that get the Gainits.
The sound we
Gainits?
do a divide between.
No, I'm not that tired.
Come
I'm
on, give it
actually
again.
very
Oh,
pumped.
okay, sure.
I'm very pumped. By the way, for those that don't know, we filmed this early morning, 5 a.m.
Ja,
Where's my coffee?
hoeveel
Yeah.
zeggen
Here's
dit?
my co-
He has to go to work
and
soon.
as sushi, 5 a.m.
By the
Who
way,
sells sushi at 5 a.m.?
It's 7:35 by the way.
Wow.
We gaan daar naar Chagres.
7:35. Okay.
En de leggen frootsters doen. Ze eten nog middag.
Ze eten nog middag?
Nog middag.
In de oven.
In de oven.
In de oven.
So
Anyway,
what's in
so-
the afternoon? Nog middog is in the
Nog
right,
middag.
yeah.
in de
Nog middag is
oven.
afternoon. And
It's not
evening.
oven anymore.
Evening is
Now
evening.
it's by ready. It's now it's like.
Wenn einer macht da oven,
Vannacht.
macht er evening.
I get an
Was?
oven. I get an oven. Nee,
Ja, wenn ze doen a oven, a Thai oven,
Event.
a Thai oven. Ja.
Event.
Oh, is dat event?
Is event.
Oven. Ik mag een oven in de oven.
In de oven.
So this is the segment where we get corny. For those in the comments, this is the segment where we get corny.
Ja, doe ik maar aan, de show sucked. Ze loont zich
If it's in the end already, most people probably
left.
don't make it to the end, so we're still
By the
getting
way-
a thumbs up. And
By the way, I get
Ja.
the 40% watch by the end.
Ja?
By the way, ik ga de
Nice.
metrics. It's crazy.
Ik ga het zeggen.
Allemaal
The truth is,
YouTube
the truth is,
watch
the
this.
truth is, Ich lege es auf einen Loop. Und ich bin probably 20% von der 40%. So spielt und so spielt und spielt noch mal. So Joim und Leila spielt es.
He really likes himself. He really likes himself.
Myself, I wasn't in a single episode. This is the first time.
Oh, this, I thought your thing. Really?
No, talking about this thing. I'm your biggest supporter here.
That's because you wanted to win the thing from Lakewood Hosts.
Yeah.
You keep watching, you keep subscribing.
So, the weiß when the raffle geht an?
When? Taka, I was waiting.
Okay, so the raffle von lakewoodhost.com, was man gewinnt, weiß
$500, right?
$500 vacation gift certificate of lakewoodhost.com.
I wouldn't say vacation in Lakewood, but okay.
Nein, ich hätte mal sagen, für was?
Was Shabbos?
Weil Lakewood Hosts...
Vacation meint ich weg.
Right.
Still.
So Lakewood Hosts hat nicht nur in Lakewood.
Right.
Sie haben Toms River, Jackson, Upstate New York, Monroe. Sie haben mal vielleicht gesagt in der letzten Episode, wie haben sie, gedenkst?
Did you say North Carolina or
South Carolina. Myrtle Beach haben sie. Auf lakewoodhost.com kannst du booken a house in Myrtle Beach.
Etwas der Founders von Lakewood Host hat gesagt, Baba, was meint das? Something Myrtle Beach, is a random town.
Nein. Sagt mich actually, jetzt ein Rebbe, was gewollt hat weggehen, Ruhigkeit, gesagt, ob es an zweiter Platz in Florida, Myrtle Beach.
He took a big map, zurückgeworfen von der Pen, it landed in Myrtle Beach, ich will das.
So lakewoodhost.com is nicht nur Lakewood.
Right.
So you're saying you can get in a lot of other places.
So wenn einer will weggehen, Chalamoid, dann musst du nächste Chalamoid, kann gewinnen $500, well, lakewoodhost.com.
Zaishan. So it's amazing. It's $500.
And by the way, so Kezan Sagat came on a $500 raffle. So the erste
Stay
raffle.
tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he likes the show. So
when's the raffle?
So the raffle guides on. Can man noch applyen to the raffle, was man darf, the Weg ist, man geht daran, the raffle, zu bekommen the $500 vacation gift certificate bei lakewoodhost.com.
Tell it to me.
Is by subscriben, drücken subscribe.
Der rote Knappel.
Und nachdem musst du the bell icon, man darf machen, weil kommen nicht auf, weil Menschen schicken sein subscribed.
Du drei, das kann mit der Bell, was ist angekolert. Der angekollierte Bell.
So wird blue, right?
So wird rot, das ist sich weggefahren. Just the Apple to Galaxy.
Other OnePlus.
Other OnePlus wird es green.
So, Menschen waren als gemachte Bell icon, but es ist off.
Es ist off.
So it's just the opposite.
Turn it on.
Turn it on. And kannst du viel machen all. Kannst machen on, see all, mach es all. So bekommst du everything.
Yeah.
It's worth it. You can hear some stuff.
Great content.
Exactly. And du kannst wissen, wie es im Westen nach Hause. Sushi.
Ich habe gerade jetzt gemacht, one of my latest vlogs. Ich liebe es, Vlog. Sound is very hip.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
It's a
video blog.
It's on real estate investing.
Video
So go check it. If somebody doesn't know the first thing about investing, it's a very good start to break it down. And there's different types of real estate investing. So I break that down as well.
It's very interesting.
Fixed and flips, mit rental property, mit REITs. REITs, weißt du, was REITs ist?
No idea. Ich habe ausgefunden noch
real
ein
estate,
channel.
You know what? I'm not telling you. You have to watch it.
Ich habe gewatcht like 3-4 Sachen. I was very amazed. Sehr cool. But let me endigen. So, ob man drückt the subscribe button, and man drückt the bell notification button, and man nimmt a screenshot, and man schickt das zu
talks@latestsimchas.com.
Talks@latestsimchas.com.
You could send it to the Gmail one too, but talks@latestsimchas.
Talks@latestsimchas.com. Geist daran einmal, ob du was daran gehen zweimal in the raffle.
Comment.
Dann muss das da commenten below. So meint, drück subscribe, the bell, comment below. Nimmst das Screenshot von the subscribe plus the comment, 2 Screenshots, schickst es heran zu talks@latestsimchas.com.
Zweimal.
Geist die heran zweimal in the raffle zu gewinnen. A $500 vacation gift certificate.
At Lakewood House. Oh, je was daran gaan dreimal, neem dan mama's phone, subscribe by either account.
100%.
Exactly. Other than Vab's phone, than Kind's phone.
Then Kind's phone, let's not go there, whatever, okay, Lakewood, Moisdesen, kids said, shine. So very nice. Lakewood House is very good.
Phone is
You know what Lakewood House had, by the way? I saw it. Yeah. They have a RV. It was not. You
could rent an RV on Lakewood Host?
I believe so, unless maybe it's a competition. I don't know. I think it's Lakewood Host. I believe it's Lakewood Host.
Guys, that's not Roscut.
Okay. I believe it's Lakewood Host where maybe he had it at one point and he stopped it. But basically, Lakewood, jeder hat driveways. Comes with an RV, ganz genug Platz für jeden Mahos. Parks this around. You could hook it up to the water. So betten dort to shine a kleine kitchen.
Nice.
Ja.
Ich habe es actually gesehen.
I believe Lakewood has it, if I'm not mistaken.
En ich bin gewähnt, wie bin ich gewähnt? Ich denke nicht, welche Area ist gewähnt.
You hope it.
Nein, geht
Ja.
zu Leben Lakewood.
Ja, es ist gewähnt,
ich
ich
habe
hope
gehad
it.
auf jene Gas auch gesehen.
I know this place. Look it up. YouHopeits.com.
Because RVs, was er verkaufen, meinst du?
Nein, einige hat geparkt, a RV.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, nice.
Why not?
Yeah.
Mention, I thought
In front van de house.
thought I go. RVs phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I have a few more questions.
Yeah.
If we have
Okay.
still a little bit of time.
En ze hebben niet wat kans vragen.
One. So let's find a good question right here.
I made
Okay.
a question or the twee?
Sure.
Draai.
Okay. So someone asked. He wants to know what's a new good area to invest in the Newark, New Jersey area. Do you know anything about?
Sorry, I don't know anything about Newark. I don't sell there. So, ich kann doch sagen etwas, and somebody good nicht. So I'm not going to say
What's that
anything.
knowledge of
Okay,
Newark?
Newark, als Sachmenschen, East Orange, Newark area. Ich habe gerade geredet mit einer, was dealt mit Hase dort. Wohnt in Lakewood. Sagt, he posted East Orange, three multifamily, 3 legal units for sale. So you have to finish up some construction work, but for a crazy price, $375. Oh, wow, give me some more information. Sagt mich, bist a friend of mine, I can't tell you this. Das heißt, die was schon busy mit der Tenants, du. You get a place, you hast mehr Tenants, was arbeiten jeden Tag, and your water bill isn't high.
Ich habe
So
ein Freund,
this-
was arbeitet in Newark, New Jersey. Er sagt, mich hat schon mitgehalten, 2 Shootings. Das ist
Ja,
it's
again.
like, ich habe schon gemacht gewähnt, toi.
Again, New York City hat weinig shootings.
Nein, but
So
Newark
this leads into the next question,
Okay.
where someone wanted to know. A lot of real estate agents, not
Yeah.
you, about the nation.
Nah,
A lot of real estate.
I don't know what you're about to say, but gas
Real estate agents.
Gas
It feels like they're kind of going behind your back. Like some people tell them, don't show this to anyone else. I want to, go on the contract, let's say, and right away they go to someone else behind your back and they say, someone wants to pay more. Sometimes it feels like they lie to you in your face. A lot of time, right? He is a salesperson.
Was meint zu fragen ist etwas anderes. Was meint zu
Let's
fragen
hear.
ist, von was sind Zeissach Agents
Scammy.
shady?
Scammy and shady.
You know what he reminds me of? In class, when you ask a question, and the Rebbe says, I'll explain the question.
Gemaas was aan de
Was meint zu
Freaks
sagen...
get, aber
Right.
freak besser.
Right, and then he's explaining, was meint zu sagen a days, and he tells the class,
same
and
thing.
it turns out it's a beautiful question. I'm just like,
That wasn't my
this was
question.
not me. I'm sorry, but I'll take the credit. I
I'll
was
take the
sitting there,
credit,
yo, ich
Yeah.
gemeint.
Ich habe gekenne in der Kasse von Gemüse.
Exactly. I
So,
saw that Rebbe gemeint.
to answer that question, first of all, this goes back to how I started. Work with an agent who has your best interest, not his. Right? So
So du hast eine Sache?
yeah. Yours truly.
No, even if you're a good salesman,
I'll tell you,
you
I'll
can
tell
be a
you.
good salesman by lying, or you can be a good
there's
salesman
honesty,
by selling.
There's honesty and integrity. The brokerage gerade wie ich arbeite, Good Choice Realty, shout out. So do 6 agents. Der Broker bekommt tagtägliche Calls von Agents, was will joinen ihr Brokerage. She says no, nicht wegen sie schlecht. Sie will bleiben klein. Every agent there is a top producer. Produces, sells a lot. She doesn't want to be volume. She wants quality over quantity. Aber Emmersdig in Lakewood in Srifman is Yashrus, which means straight, from Yashar. But honesty and integrity, that's what it's based off of. And when you work with an agent who the chances, like you say, why does it feel like I'm feeling, if you feel that, chances are it's happening.
Right.
No?
Right. If you feel like
So
you're
if
being
you
lied
don't-
to-
After you go.
Yeah, you should feel comfortable.
I go on a showing with somebody, I say, listen, this floor here, I have a contractor who I just had this with another house that I sold. He switched it out. It costed about $1,500. I'm straight with you. I'm not going to tell you, it's good, it's good. No, it's good. You just scrape it off. You can't even scrape the floor. It's not even wood. It's vinyl. Whatever it is, you work with an agent who you trust and who is honest. I believe that there's business for everyone. I don't view competition as a bad thing. Ich meine, it's a good.
100%.
Competition makes me a better agent because I want to service my clients better. And I care about them. Every client that calls me up, ich will verstehen, wo die das. Stam dich zu schicken listings in the Welt, and that's defeating the purpose of an agent. Kennst kind
It's
of
a good
Zillow.
agent. A good agent.
Someone who cares. So to answer your question, there are those agents. They're not being bad, but they're looking at their pocket and they want to sell you something because they want to pay their bills. So are they doing something wrong? Yes. Are they trying to fool you and lie to you? That's not their intentions, but that's what ends up happening.
At the end of the game, business all boils down to honesty. Davis is
100%.
most honest.
100%. Customer
got
service,
blab in the
honesty,
game.
correct.
Or those who hide their lies much better.
But at the end
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
day, people feel it.
Yes.
Yeah,
you do,
it's
100%.
something that
Integrity.
we call, in the industry, we call it commission breath. This might
Commission breath?
Yeah, because when you call somebody up, schmeckt living. It's called commission breath. I'm trying to sell it because you want to make a commission.
I like it.
It's called commission breath. So if you reach out to an agent,
industry. Okay, whatever.
It's a khalifa, you know, like
PR
marketing group.
PR marketing.
Huh?
There's no commission,
There's
bro.
no commission. It's all.
Ze had een andere noemen.
Was hat das?
Ich weiß nicht, but nicht
We'll
this.
come up with something.
There's auch kaum
You
gehört.
never heard it?
It's called marketing.
It's called marketing. Okay, let's leave it at that.
So I'm sure a lot of people really got to know a lot of information.
It's my pleasure.
You?
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, actually.
My pleasure.
And thanks for making competition.
Well, I'm knocking competition out of the water. It's just happened now. Baruch Hashem. Listen, the Eibishter hat
Pro
genug
seller.
verjeten. This is echt.
Exactly. And ich was ich gesehen, ich meine, ich habe gewatcht 4 videos.
Yeah.
I think
The
it's...
boy say, subscribe. Thank you very
Subscribe to his
much.
channel. And
Take a look
subscribe
at
to
it.
Ich kann es actually linken, meine ich. Auf
Yes.
YouTube kann man linken channels
I
als
think that's possible.
als a feature.
Okay.
Man kann feature in channels, was man hat lieb.
Okay.
So ich kann actually try to linken.
Go ahead.
Definitely
And if you
latest
see the video there,
Latest Simchas.
then subscribe to his channel and subscribe to
Yeah,
his channel.
subscribe. That's what I always say. It's free. You can always unsubscribe later if you don't like it. Subscribe.
Exactly.
Gabab.
Ja,
The right to knappel.
Ties für die Kinder.
Tease for the kinder. All right.
Sehr gesund.
Take
Thank
care.
you so much.